In this episode of Global Warning, Cuba's electrical grid collapses across the island. What the heck is Kharg Island? Iran's new supreme leader is said to have been injured, and malware Sox escort is taken down by the FBI. Oh, and by the way, this isn't AI. You've just never heard me with a good microphone. Let's get into it.
As we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know.
Global Warning with Ryan McBeth.
Welcome to Global Warning with Ryan McBeth. Here I offer a brief analysis of newsworthy events, developments, and trends that have been lost in the shuffle of those larger events dominating the news cycle. To start, Cuba's electrical grid goes down for the count. It appears after weeks of being cut off from inexpensive Venezuelan crude oil, well, that's taken its toll on the Cuban electrical grid. According to CNN, much of Cuba's electrical generation comes from oil-reliant systems. With oil becoming a scarcer commodity in Cuba, this has a tremendous consequence for Cuba's grid. Cuba's black market has seen gas hit nearly $9 a liter. A liter. We're not even talking a gallon. A liter, which shows just how stressed the island is in terms of energy. This news comes as the island confirms that it has been in negotiations with the U.S. government, including the release of potential political prisoners by Cuba. Trump has even said, "I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba." So why does this matter? Cuba has resisted American attempts to regain control of the island for nearly 60 years. However, Cuba has seen better days with declining revenue streams, fewer friends on the world stage, and a regime that is rotting away from the inside. Recent reporting from the New York Times suggests that Cuba's government is open to liberalizing its economy. Doing this, however, comes with some serious risks. Cuba's current government was responsible for nationalizing and redistributing the private property of certain Cubans following the revolution. A reopening of Cuba could cause some serious legal troubles for the socialist regime, and this could mean the Cuban government and its loyal supporters could lose out. Nevertheless, it looks like Cuba could be next to fall, and as on-brand as the ego-inflating Dunroe doctrine is, it is turning out to be quite effective, at least in squashing American opponents in the Caribbean and Latin America. Next up, we have Kharg Island. So 90% of Iranian oil flowed through Kharg Island prior to the U.S. and Israel coordinating their attacks on Iran. According to Ed Ballard at the Wall Street Journal, some 3.8 million barrels of oil have been shipped from the island on Sunday and Monday, just this week. Kharg Island plays a central role within the Iranian regime, and it helps fund much of Iran's government and activities in the region. So it comes as no surprise that Kharg Island could see increased American attacks in the coming days. Some military affairs YouTubers, such as Chris Cappy of Cappy Army, have speculated the United States could assault the island in order to completely starve out the Iranian regime. I have even discussed U.S. attacks targeting Iran's central bank data center, which will add an enormous amount of pressure on Iran's besieged government. Without energy to sell and without paychecks going out, Iran's diehards are going to find it incredibly difficult to resist calls for surrender. Some speculate that the movement of 2,200 U.S. Marines from Okinawa to the Gulf region could be a sign of boots on the ground, and some further speculate that these Marines could help to open up the Strait of Hormuz or capture Kharg Island. This is still a developing situation. And up next, we have the new Ayatollah injured. According to the Wall Street Journal, the newly selected Ayatollah has been seriously injured per a statement given by U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Helen Smith, writing for The Guardian, reports that Mojtaba Khamenei was seriously injured in the blast that killed 6 of his family members, including his father. With the new Ayatollah injured and supposedly evacuated to Russia, it's hard to say who is calling the shots in Iran. This complicates American goals in 2 ways. First, Mojtaba is a true believer, a hardliner chosen because of his faith and his commitment to the regime's survival. The death of family members and his debilitating injury are likely to make him defiant to the end. With Moshtaba possibly incapacitated, this could mean elements within the IRGC are in full control of the situation, and it could make things incredibly difficult for the United States. As the fight continues, Iran is running out of options. However, Iran's victory conditions include only one thing: that's survival of the regime. For the United States and Israel, things are getting much more complicated. And finally, we have the FBI operation against SOX Escort. According to a March 13th, 2026 cybersecurity press release issued by the FBI, SOX Escort was taken down by a multinational task force that included partners from Europol, France's OFAC, the Dutch National Police, Austria's BK, US DCIS, and the US IRS. According to this release, SOX Escort is believed to have compromised and sold access to approximately 369,000 devices since 2020. Furthermore, SOX Escort exploited unpatched routers used by homes and small businesses, along with different Internet of Things devices, to later install AV Recon malware on them. Per FBI, this malware allows SOX Escort threat actors to maintain remote access to the routers and then use them as part of a botnet. SOX Escort monetizes their botnet through various illicit methods, including selling access under the SOX Escort residential proxy brand. So why does this matter? In a world where the cyber domain is heating up, even civilian infrastructure can provide tools and access to questionable actors, criminal elements, or even nation states. They used their routers to help criminal gangs, and these were routers that were sold to average people and businesses. You're part of this botnet now. What's best learned here is something we should all advocate for in the cybersecurity world. Periodically update your routers and Internet of Things devices. Moreover, learn how these things work so you can better understand how to protect yourself, your businesses, your neighbors, and your country. Thank you for listening. New episodes appear weekly at ryanmcbeth.substack.com, where you can also find the companion intelligence briefing. Sources are citing using footnotes and active links to ensure transparency and replication.